everyone, and welcome to today's General Hospital recap. It is September 21st. As always, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of our videos or recaps. Also, be a beauty and click that little bell down there so you get personally notified when we upload a new recap. Also, I told you yesterday that I am going to be incorporating polls into the videos, and I think I'm going to incorporate them even more. So I'm going to put a poll right up here right now, so click that little gray bar that comes up there. And today's poll question is Steve Burton coming back as Jason or Nicholas or someone else? So leave your answer down in the poll. I believe if you click it, it should show up down by the description somewhere. Let me know how that goes, because I can only see it from my end. I've never really done a YouTube poll before, whether I was the voter or the votee. And let's get right to it. At Jordan's, Curtis comes over with flowers, and Jordan is kind of cold. TJ's there, and he leaves to get coffee, and Jordan's like, no. And he's like, I'll let you two talk. And Jordan's like, no. Curtis wants to focus on them. They had a fight, and he wants to work through it. And she says, okay, let's work through it. Are you gonna work for Sonny Corinthos? He says she's not being fair. He's not looking to be a criminal. These are services he would offer anyone. This is normal PI stuff. Jordan thinks, unlike other clients, any intel that he would provide to Sonny would use to strike against people, and then it becomes her business. Curtis says that he can't control what any of his clients do with any of the information he gives them. She says even an association with Sonny is crossing her boundaries. She needs some time to think about things. And I feel like Jordan is falling into Anna syndrome with what happened with Duke. Remember, they had broken up for the longest time because he was standing in for Sonny, and then by the time they got time back, it was too late. Curtis leaves. TJ comes back. He won't be part of her bailing on Curtis. She says that there's a Sonny Corinthos issue. TJ thinks she's being a bit unrealistic. She knew going into this relationship with Curtis that he had PI credentials and he was connected with Sonny and Jason. She's not ready to delve into the ambiguous, and he's like, well, what about Sean? Jordan says that this is really all about TJ. Her bad choices cause him pain with his father, Sean, when she went undercover, and she doesn't want to hurt him any more than she has, and he wants her to stop beating herself up. He wants her to just be happy, and that's how she can make it up to him any pain that she caused. He calls her the best mom, and he wishes that she believed that about herself. At Kelly's, Valerie sees Kristina and Parker talking, and she starts the ruse, but Kristina is like, hey, I already told Parker everything, so we're good. Parker goes in to get herself something to drink, and Kristina tells Valerie that her and Parker are going to talk.
Are you having fun back there, PJ? Yeah, she's having fun.
Valerie is going to be ready for extraction if needed, so she'll be by her phone. And her and Kristina have a really nice friendship, and I'm really happy to see that, because we're finally, I feel like getting to know Valerie. Parker and Kristina are having a drink, well, like coffee, not like a drink. Parker is really worried because she thinks a man has been following them and he's standing right over there. And Kristina's like, oh no, that's my guard. We're cool. It's okay. Kristina is a lot different from when they first met. Things happen for a reason, and she's grateful that Parker came into her life. And then after some more conversation about how they got to where they were, who they were, all this stuff, Kristina kisses Parker, and then Parker stops them. She says that this is about her. She can't lose her career over Kristina. So basically, back where we were when we started. In the long-term facility, they may have said a name, I didn't catch it. We see Jason's face, and he is Billy Miller. Billy Miller is Jason, as far as we know right now. That was a crazy few days, wasn't it? Kudos to General Hospital, because they really did have us guessing. There was a lot of conversation, okay? Even if we weren't buying into it, there was a lot of conversation, and I'll give them that. Sonny comes in, he and Sam talk a little bit. She's not doing good. She doesn't want to leave Jason alone, because as soon as she does, this whole thing becomes real. Sonny tells her that she made the right decision. They did this with Michael and sort of with Morgan. The boys needed those places, and the places were great for the boys. She's doing this to help Jason, and she has to keep telling herself that. Sam wishes that Jason could just tell her that everything was going to be okay, and Sonny even manages to make Sam laugh a little bit. She tells him how her and Jason's life has been so different ever since he came back, and every time they talk about this, I get the feeling that they're bringing Steve Burton back as Jason, and we'll talk more about that later if you want. Jason seems more settled since he came back to her. They used to be all ride or die, and now they live for the future and not like any day could be their last like they used to. Sonny feels that he's partly to blame for taking this chance from her, and he wants to make it right. I know there's a lot of talk whether you like Billy Miller's Jason or Steve Burton's Jason, and that Billy Miller's Jason definitely was more of a settled, I think that's the perfect way to put it, and that's the perfect word to use. He was more of a settled Jason as opposed to Steve Burton's. But I think that also has to do with the fact that they have kids now. Steve Burton's Jason with Sam, they never had kids together, so it's hard to tell what he would have been like had he stayed around the time that Danny was staying in their lives. Should I add a second poll? Okay, I'm adding a second poll here. They're both very different, okay? And I think that Billy Miller's Jason and Steve Burton's Jason, they're both very strong and very good characters. So which Jason do you prefer? Settled Jason or Ride or Die Jason? So vote down below if that's where it shows up. A little bit of both. Or both. Or if you don't have a favorite, you love both of them. Or if you hate both of them. Who hates Jason? Seriously. No, seriously, does anyone out there, I believe, put that in the poll, because I'm interested to know. Anyway, at the park, Valerie catches Curtis almost throwing away the flowers he brought for Jordan. She stops him and asks what's up. And by the way, she loves Stella and is like, we're cousins now because I'm adopting your aunt. Curtis says that he and Jordan are kind of having conflicts of interest professionally, and she's like, oh, okay, so exactly what happened with us. He apologizes for what happened last year. She accepts it. She's over it. He's apologized. He's owned his responsibility in it. She doesn't want to see him make the same mistakes over again, though. She wants him to be happy and really ask himself, is he willing to make the necessary sacrifices to make Jordan happy? Curtis really thanks her. He gives her the flowers. He hopes that she finds love again, too. And then Sonny calls Curtis. He has a job for him, but he can't tell him what the job is over the phone. And Curtis is like, I can't take a job from you. He can only do stuff that was totally above board, and if it was up to him, it'd be fine. But too many people he cares about would be affected if he were to do a job for Sonny. And Sonny's like, you know what? It's all good. He totally understands, because Sonny, he respects people who put their family or put the people they love above themselves, even if it means that Sonny doesn't get something he wants. At Shriners Hospitals for Children, Dante thinks Valentine got Ava to recant the statement. The testimony will be worthless even though her statement was already made, because it makes her look like an incredible witness. And he tells her about the facility that he supposedly sent Ava to. Lulu goes over to Valentine and gets Charlotte to go with Dante down to the playroom, and Lulu asks Valentine what he did to Ava Jerome. She asks what he promised Ava. Lulu says that she was almost fooled by him, but not anymore, and he's like, look, my criminal record is actually a lot cleaner than yours, so you really want to do this? She can run the risk of losing custody or agree to shared custody now. Valentine keeps talking about Charlotte and everything she has in Port Charles, and it kind of reminds me when he would talk to Nina about Charlotte, almost like using Charlotte as a pawn. And he wants to do alternating weeks, but then Charlotte comes back in, and Valentine brings her to find an update on Bailey. Dante asks Lulu what she wants to do. Does she want to fight for custody, or does she want to call a compromise now? Bailey and her mom come out. There's news. They're going to brace her back. Shriners has cutting-edge scoliosis treatment. Valentine basically asks Lulu if she wants Charlotte to be settled and secure. Like, the answer's not no. In Russia, Ava has her hair straightened. I just want to point that out because she looks really good with straightened hair. She finds the masked man without his eye mask on, and he has blue eyes. Okay, GH, nice play. We all know what's happening here, but who is the masked man? If you didn't vote in the poll, vote in the poll now. I think if you go back, it'll show up, or I don't know. I don't know how it works. Ava had convinced herself that he was Nicholas, and she tells him this whole situation she had played out in her head. Basically, if she were able to find Nicholas, she could make it right, the fact that she sold him out for a new face. Yeah, that's nice. And now she'll leave him in peace, and he kind of looks after her after she leaves. The masked man nearly gets out of the wheelchair and then sits down when he hears more people come into the room. A new doctor comes in. Ava apparently was referred to him by Dr. Boromsky. His name is Dr. Richard Klein. He handles the more severe cases. Basically, a cumulative process will give her her face back. A nurse comes in with patient 6's injection. Ava just has to ask what the injection is. The doctor says it's a tranquilizer. Dr. Klein says that patient 6 was subjected to severe trauma. Dr. Klein says patient 6 was subjected to severe trauma and fights back with everything. He constantly feels he's under attack. And then he's like, well, why do you care anyway? patient 6 gets his injection. Ava says that patient 6, this whole thing is just a distraction for her. Like, she's in a strange place. It's very stressful. She might be getting a lot of surgery. So, you know, she's just trying to focus on something else. And then she notices that the stuff that they're injecting him with is ketamine. And then Dr. Klein says he'd hate to send her away before treatment. Find another diversion, or that will happen. Leave patient 6 alone. And she's like, oh, I get it. Okay, I totally understand. I will leave him alone. Patient 6 is fighting to take his mask off. He's really struggling to get up now, but he's managing. And Ava comes back and finds him doing this. And now end scene. Curtis comes back to Jordan's. He tells her that he turned Sunny down for the job and it's not worth losing her. She laughs. She was actually going to tell him that she was being a bit harsh, and she wants to talk about things and talk through things, because it seems when they get in a fight, that seems to be the end of it instead of the beginning of it. Jordan says that if their conversation on the pier would have continued, she would have told him that she loves him too, and then they kiss. So they're good. They're 100% again. Parker tells Kristina that she is a student at PCU and Parker is currently seeking tenure there. And she goes, look, if I get turned down for tenure and I work somewhere else, then we can explore this. But I can't be ending my career for you. And Kristina is like, okay, fine. I won't make waves at the university. And Parker leaves crying and Kristina is just like upset. Lulu will have the shared custody paperwork drawn up and sent to his attorney, alternating weeks. That's what they are agreeing on. Lulu says Charlotte will grow up one day and she'll see him for who he really is. For now, they can share, but when Charlotte figures it out, then Charlotte figures it out. Ava asks patient 6 how he's even moving right now, and that the zombie act isn't working on her anymore. The drugs aren't working the way the clinic thinks they are. She threatens to warn the clinic about him, but she won't. But she does ask, if he rampages the clinic, don't come after her. He owes her that. A cell phone rings and Ava hides in the room. Dr. Klein is saying there's been no more trouble. He can't give someone, patient 6, any more something, ketamine, without killing him. And then patient 6 gets up. Oh my goodness. So who is patient 6? Is patient 6 Jason or is patient 6 Nicholas? If you haven't already voted, go vote in the poll that was in the beginning. I'll see if I can put the poll down here again. I don't know really how this works, but if I can, I'll do that too. Thank you so much for watching today's recap, and I will see you tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow's Friday. I will see you tomorrow for more General Hospital. Okay, bye.